Let's move on. As you said, there is some ground being lost here amongst the coveted bro demographic. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, giving an interesting interview on Fox News. Now, we have to listen carefully to what he has to say. He doesn't necessarily say he regrets endorsing Joe Biden. He does say he regrets endorsing a politician and entering the fray of politics, but it is very clear that he sees that as a mistake, his entrance into the political fray back in 2020 when he famously endorsed Joe Biden. Here's what he had to say.
You made that endorsement in 2020. Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I feel like, and I mean, we could go down the well here, but in today's easy cancel culture world and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me. And in the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be real. If you ask me something, a real answer is important.
All right, so that's what he had to say. People know I've had a long and difficult journey with The Rock. I always liked The Rock. I wanted him to run for president, but then he publicly embraced the so-called woke cancel culture that he is openly trashing there. He engaged in the pylon on Joe Rogan. I guess Joe Rogan forgave him. He actually ended up having him on his show. So listen, it's up to Joe to litigate that. I will personally not forget it, that he entered that. I understand that he's in the Hollywood sphere. Then he started posing for pictures with Jeff Bezos, but now he says he won't. Now he says he won't endorse Joe Biden. So I don't really know what to take of it. I guess what we could say is this. This man cares most about his image, about selling his Terramana tequila and all that other stuff that he was promoting there on the table and his energy drink. And clearly the Biden brand is bad for business, according to The Rock, who I think ultimately just wants to sell as many products as possible and keep his very, very high Q score, approval rating with people. And so for that reason, appears to regret endorsing Joe Biden. Krystal.
I think that is very accurate and astute analysis. I also think perhaps this is yet another lesson in don't base your vote on celebrity endorsers.
Yeah,
and I don't think that most people do, because if they did, Hillary Clinton would have been president of the United States. So I'm not sure that this is a warning that the American people really need. But, I mean, listen, he's not paid to be a political analyst. He uses a lot of words there to say basically nothing. Like, I don't even know what his real point. I don't know why he endorsed Biden in the first place, and I don't know why he's not endorsing him this time. I don't know what the relevant issues are, outside of, like you said, he now has assessed that whereas previously he thought that was good for his brand, now he no longer feels it is positive for The Rock's personal brand. So I don't know that you could read too much into it other than that. Other than, I guess, it's not quite as safe in Hollywood to be affirmatively pro-Joe Biden as it was the last time around. I guess that's all you could really read into it.
There was also an interesting moment when Rogan interviewed him and he was talking about Biden, and I forget exactly what Rogan said, but it was something about like the people behind Biden, and The Rock seemed to like laugh and giggle at that, like very clearly he doesn't think that Biden is a strong leader. That was basically all that he had to say. It's not exactly true that he hasn't entered politics before. I mean, I've even said this. He spoke at the 2000 Republican National Convention. I mean, this is somebody... Anyway, I could go down the rabbit hole. I think the only thing we can truly assess is that for probably one of America's most popular celebrities, not wanting to endorse Biden again, you can frame it however you want. Oh, I'm not endorsing anybody. Okay, but you endorsed somebody last time. You're not doing it this time around. Well, that is an indicator of where he thinks his brand is going to be importantly positioned, whereas last time around he didn't think that he would suffer as a result of it. And I've seen some organic pushback against him. So I don't think we could take away from it more than that, only that people who are very astute at seeing where the popular wind is blowing, consumer sentiment, people who have hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, they don't think, quote unquote, supporting Biden is good for business this time around, at least from a popularity perspective. And I would pay attention to that. I think that is probably an important takeaway for what the overall trends is. Now, I would also say this, right, which is important and something we tie back to yesterday, is that Biden appears to be consolidating a lot of support, Krystal, amongst older voters. So it could be that you and I are having a conversation here about national trends, about young voters, about how the overall, like, actual American population feels, but that doesn't translate to the American electorate. Not everybody votes. In fact, most people don't vote. A huge portion of the voting eligible public simply stays home. So it could be that there's two kind of separate conversations that are happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, Hollywood famously has their finger on the pulse, so we should really pay attention to which way the breeze is blowing there. I think Republicans are so funny when it comes to Hollywood also, because the minute that The Rock or any other Hollywood celebrity is affirmatively behind a Democrat, you know, all these Hollywood liberals, who cares about they're out of touch, blah, blah, blah. The minute one of them even shows like a sliver of interest in their party or their positions, they're falling all over themselves in, oh, The Rock, he really knows what he's talking about here. He's got his finger on the pulse. It is kind of funny to me. But ultimately, I think the whole situation is relatively inconsequential outside of the vibes of it's just not cool in any respect to be a Biden supporter. But, you know, it's not like Biden really based his presidential campaign last time around on any sort of cool factor. He didn't have that like Obama rock star vibe. Yes. It was just like, all right, well, I guess, you know, Trump sucks. So this is the guy we got. What are we going to do? That's what he's betting on again. He's got more baggage this time around. People unhappy about the economy. People, you know, young people obviously tortured and horrified by his Israel policy, progressives as well. He's got a lot of issues here. I don't think The Rock is probably chief among them.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.